Hey, what's going on? You're tuned into the Daily Geek right here on SweetGeekTV. I am your host, Griffin Grandberg, and today is January 29th, 2009, episode 113. Let's get to that geek news. Starting off with story number one, chief marketing officers admit that only 16% of their companies monitor message boards and social networking sites. This is a bad deal for them because they also have 44% of them that admit that a high-profile negative customer experience have affected their brand in some way or another, mostly negative. So basically they're admitting that they have to start monitoring these message boards, these social networking sites, online, basically the online community, to make sure that they don't lose brand equity. It only makes sense to have your marketing people or your brand people or whoever is dealing with that check online and make sure people are having a good time with your brand, or offer to help them out, or send some tech support people to answer different questions on message boards. It only makes sense, and it really makes your brand look awesome. Story number two, Google and two nonprofits are getting together to create what they're calling Measurement Lab. And what's awesome about this is it's basically trying to ensure some sort of net neutrality or hold, ISPs to the flame or something, because we talked about yesterday how Cox Communications, Comcast, AT&T, all these people are trying to do some sort of traffic controlling, slowing down certain downloads and traffic while letting other ones be more high profile or whatever. If you are thinking that your internet connection is actually somewhat flaky or what have you, they have tools at Measurement Lab that will see if your ISP is interfering with your connection speed. It is awesome to see them doing that. That's just awesome of Google and the other nonprofits that really hooked this up. Of course, you can go check it out at measurementlab.net. Of course, we'll link it up on the interesting links section on our main site, SweetGeekTV. Story number three, Adobe Air, which is Adobe's cross-platform runtime environment, that you can create this application that will run in all these different platforms, which is so totally awesome, has been downloaded over 100 million times, which is huge. And I mean that. That's awesome to see that type of downloads for Adobe Air. They also said that they've seen over 1 million downloads for the software development kit, which is huge and big, meaning that we're going to probably see more and more Adobe Air applications in the future. And you know what? That's pretty sweet to hear. Story number four, the delay in the digital television transition is actually not going to happen anymore, mostly because the House of Representatives could not pull it together to delay it to June. So that means February 17th is the big day of the digital TV transition, unless something crazy goes on. We mentioned just a few days ago that the Senate okayed it. It looked like the House would as well, but that was not the case. Basically, lots of businesses saying, why should we have to run both analog and digital signals at the same time on towers? I mean, there's tower rent, there's, electricity, there are all these different costs and fees that go with transmitting the signal on both ways, when by February 17th, we are already planning to shut down the analog side and just run digital. We already had it worked into our budget, blah, blah, blah. 4 more months would be crazy. So it looks like the House of Representatives heeded their warning with this economy and everything, and actually going to let the transition go through. However, that means that 10 million people could be affected by this. They could turn on their TV and not be able to see a darn thing. That's right. Some people are saying even more than 10 million people. They need that digital converter box, which has pretty much been sold out all over the place. And even the coupon program that they had has ran out of money. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens February 17th. Story number 5, the last story of the day, which is just kind of a cool note, is that Netflix is going to start testing Saturday shipments, which is totally awesome because, you send it in on Thursday or Friday even, and you're like, oh man, I'm going to have to wait till Monday, for them to deliver out my next choice in my queue. But you might not have to do that anymore because your distribution center might actually have Saturday delivery, which would be totally sweet and awesome. Of course, once we get more information about this, or if they decide to just go all out on Saturdays, we will let you know about it right here on the Daily Geek. And that is the Geek News for January 29, 2009, episode 113 of the Daily Geek. I am your host, Griffin Grandberg for SweetGeekTV. And before we go, the question of the day is, are you ready for the digital TV switch? You already have an HD TV. I bet most of my audience already are hooked up to the T with digital TV. I'm telling you, I bet. I'm just saying. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about the digital TV transition, if we should wait or if we should just get it done already. It's already been a few years. I will comment back to every single comment left, and I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. I'm going to try to do the same, and I'll catch you right back here for a Friday edition of the Daily Geek tomorrow. See you then.